Armageddon is coming to old school July 19th. In this PvP everywhere game mode, knowledge is power, and letting your opponent have an advantage is a recipe for death. Unfortunately, information is hard to come by. Deadman started way back in 2015, and over those almost 10 years seen change after change, season after season. But the dev blogs for Armageddon just talk about the changes since last time. After scouring everything I could find, I've compiled 10 not so obvious things you need to know to stay competitive and not turn into this guy's snack. Let's get right into it. Number 1. XP lamps. Most people know that quests and regular XP is boosted in Deadman, but so are XP lamps. These are critical to early run strategies. That's where this absolute specimen comes in. This cargo short genius lives on the second floor of the Varrock Museum. He's important because you can tell him about all the quests that you've done, and for some of them, he's willing to reward you XP lamps. Normally it's just a humble 1k lamp, but because of the Deadman mode XP multiplier, they now give 10,000 experience each for a skill that's 20 plus. For the first time this Deadman, we start with Merlin's Crystal and Shield of Arab completed, which means you can instantly claim 2 lamps worth 20k XP in total for any skill 20 plus. You can do this the moment that you log in. These lamps are huge for any route. At level 20, one lamp will get you to level 30, and both lamps to 35, 400 XP short of 36. Speaking of lamps, Client of Karend is also a 3-minute quest in Lumbridge that gives a humble 300 XP lamp that will be boosted to 3k, getting you from level 1 to level 16. Finally, there's a one-time use lamp from Count Check in Lumbridge following regular Genie lamp rules. One last consideration is the Arty Easy Diary. It's by far the lowest requirement diary you can do, and it'll give you a 2.5k lamp boosted to 25k in Deadman. The most obnoxious requirement for this is Plague City and Biohazard, so you can enter the training ground, but if you're doing those quests anyway for some route, then it's about a 5-minute diary. Number 2. Shops. Shops have different mechanics in the main game. Fletching, crafting, magic, rune, and arrow shops all restock significantly faster. The lower level items will restock even faster than higher level ones. For instance, mine runes are going to restock way faster than death runes at Operate. Additionally, the Dorgishan crossbow and bone bolts are available in all range shops, which provides a nice easy transition out of the starter weapons. Combined with the first tip of lamps, you can skip right from 20 to 30 range and move on from the starter bow to the Dorgishan crossbow super early. Number 3. Instances. Instances work differently in Deadman mode. Based on how it worked in previous seasons, quests like Fight Arena won't grant combat XP during the quest. To be clear, you'll still get the quest completion reward XP, but don't roll up in there thinking you'll train a few levels on the Scorpion so the bouncer doesn't one-hit you. Outside of quests, there are a lot of optional instances like God Wars or Scurious that you normally can do in a private instance. In Deadman mode, you either aren't allowed or you won't gain XP. I wasn't able to test God Wars since I don't have any CAs on my Deadman account, but I was able to enter a private Scurious instance. In the Scurious private instance, I gained no XP, but in the public instance, it acted as normal. We'll have to see how they handle this, but I would bet on no private instances or at least no XP as in previous seasons. Therefore, you'll have to participate in the global area for these monsters, which can be quite dangerous. For places that are always instances, such as your house or the fight caves, you don't gain XP. The exception to this is construction XP and prayer XP on an altar in your house. This means no safe training in Nightmare Zone, no farming XP in Tithe Farm, and is worth considering if you're planning something like making house tabs. You'll most likely get no experience for this. A common early strategy, for example, is bag plants to get early farming levels, but this does not work. Number 4. Pyramid. Pyramid tops in Deadman mode are worth 30k each. This is probably the most overpowered moneymaker for Deadman mode in the first couple hours. I already made a video covering how to get here super quickly in the first hour by just completing Tourist Trap if you want to check that out. Using the lamps from the Varrock Museum could get you here even faster, but be warned, doing this with low agility causes a lot of failures which wastes a tremendous amount of time. I highly recommend coming here with at least 45 if not 50 agility, even though you can technically start at 30. If you combine the Tourist Trap strategy with the Historian minus lamps, you'll have 51 agility, which is more than enough to make 150k in the first hour. I would be very cautious if you stay here past your protection, however. You can take damage from falling on the pyramid, you also take damage from the desert if you don't have water skins, and the amount of damage you can take from PvPers, especially in the lower brackets with some of these powerful sigils like Rigorous Ranger, can take you out super quickly. Number 5. PJ timers. When it comes time to escape, there's been some pretty big changes so far. Now the PJ timer for both attackers and defenders in PvP is 20 ticks. This makes escaping significantly easier as you can't just get passed around between enemies. It also makes freeze logging way friendlier. You only need 7 seconds to log or TP, and with the PJ timer of 12 seconds, you have a cozy 5-second buffer to escape and no longer have to worry about who got the last hit. For context, in previous Deadmans, the attacker and defender timers were different, and that meant you wanted to get the last hit so you were an attacker, so you had more time to teleport and get away, but you don't have to worry about any of that now. Number 6. Quest unlocks. In Deadman mode, you unlock quests in each bracket, but you don't get XP for these quests, including extra training for Monkey Madness 1 and Monkey Madness 2. You have to do these yourself to get the XP. This is critical for planning any route. If you wait to do Monkey Madness, planning on doing it in bracket 3, it will be auto-completed and you cannot get that XP anymore. Similarly, choosing Monkey Madness 2 completion once you enter the third bracket will lock you out of getting the XP from Duke, so make sure to complete and claim your quest rewards before moving brackets. Or for the optional choice quest lines, don't choose them until you've completed whatever you want to do. A lot of people often choose Desert Treasure to give them Ancients even faster, but they make sure to do some of the prerequisites because some of the XP for quests like Temple of Ikov or the Dig Site are very strong. Number 7. Sigils can come from anywhere. In the past, sigils only came from monsters when you hit the Deadman global drop table, but now sigils can come from both monsters and from skilling. The chance to hit the Deadman drop table is based on monster level or a flat 1 in 500 from skilling. For skilling, the blog post said it was rolled on every resource gathered, but it's unclear if this scales with the sigils of Advanced Harvest and Forager. These sigils do give you additional resources, but it's unclear if they meant once per chop or they meant literally per log, so 3 logs would give you 3 rolls. We'll have to wait and see if they clarify. Note that this applies to cutting logs, mining ore, getting herbs from farming, fishing, and catching chins. So don't spend 8 hours with the Teku salamanders going, "Where alone?" On the PVM side, they drop from monsters based on combat level, capping at a 1 out of 75 chance for monsters at 150 combat or above. Hitting the Deadman table is a 50-50 chance of a sigil or a supply drop that both scale with bracket. The higher the bracket, the better the supply drops, and the higher tier of sigil you can roll. That's a whole lot of numbers, all to say higher level monsters means more Deadman drops, skilling can now give Deadman drops, and higher brackets means better drops from that table. One last note, for both PVM and skilling, you need to be out of a safe zone to have a chance at the global table. Number 8, stat restoration. You see people make this mistake every time. You cannot restore your stats in Ferox Enclave using the pool or going into Clan Wars like you can in the main game. You can use a pool in your house if you get that far, but there is a 2-minute cooldown. It is possible to regen your stats and run by purposefully dying. PVM deaths work as they do in the main game, but this can be very risky. Just make sure to tell everyone your PVM deaths are intentional and strategic. Number 9, prayer changes. For the first time, chivalry and piety are auto-unlocked at level 3, but you still need the prayer and defense requirements to use them. Augury and Rigor still need the scrolls, but no defense requirements, so they can be used in low-level brackets on pures. This will make the early brackets even scarier the farther the tournament goes on, but does provide a nice time save for main accounts who don't have to do things like one small favor or wait for the final bracket to get piety. Number 10, quest bosses. Some quests have bosses that more than one person can't do at the same time. If you're a Deadman veteran, you know the suffering of 2,000 people on the same world trying to do Tree Gnome Village, but the Khazard Warlord won't fight you. They fixed this for Tree Gnome Village, so anyone can do Tree Gnome Village at the same time and you'll get your own version of the Khazard Warlord. However, for some quests, like Witch's House, only one person can kill the boss at a time. That means people end up queuing outside the door, you try hopping worlds, it's a mess, and it ends up wasting a ton of your time just to finish a very simple quest. If you delay those until a later bracket, you can get it done without anyone getting in your way. Bonus one that I actually need a little help with. You'll start on Tutorial Island, and Skippy can teleport you to Artie, Varrock, Lumbridge, Falador, or Gnome Stronghold. But I'm fairly certain about this next part being true, but I'd love to hear if anyone can confirm or deny this, since I believe I did it previously, but I can't find it documented on the wiki pages. Way back in the original Deadman mode, they added this NPC Nigel in Lumbridge, and he could teleport you once per account to the same places as Skippy does. That means you could pull off some cool tricks, like starting with Skippy and Varrock, grabbing lamps, home tellying, and having Nigel send you to Artie or Gnome Stronghold. However, when you talk to Nigel now, at least in the live Deadman server, he says you can't teleport in this mode. I'm not sure if this is what's going to happen in Reborn, if this is a legacy of like the very, very old Deadmans, or this is something that just happened to the live server now. Anyways, let me know if you know the answer. I think it'd be helpful for planning some routes. Alright, well that's 10 things and a question that are critical for success for the upcoming season of Deadman mode. If you found that helpful, leave a like and let me know if you'd want to see a part 2, as there's plenty more things I could cover. Thanks for watching, and I hope I see you in the next one.